I didn't think I had to film another video today, but obviously the European Parliament thinks 1 or 2 hours of spare time are far too much for me. So here we are. The negotiations stall, there is still no solution to the dispute over fishing rights, and now the EU is making it clear by when a contract has to be ready. EU negotiator Barnier is sending positive signals regarding the post-Brexit talks, but the European Parliament is putting pressure on. The EU and Great Britain have to agree on a Brexit trade pact by Sunday. Otherwise, the EU Parliament sees itself unable to ratify the deal. If there is no agreement between Brussels and London by midnight on Sunday, there will be no ratification. This was decided by the parliamentary leaders. If a commercial paper is presented in good time, the European Parliament wants to hold a special session. EU negotiator Barnier sees progress despite stumbling blocks, as he said. Numerous earlier deadlines for concluding negotiations have already been broken. The European Parliament gives the negotiations on a possible Brexit trade pact only until Sunday, as I said. And once again, if a finished text is available by midnight on Sunday, one is ready to schedule a special session for ratification according to a resolution by the parliamentary leaders on Thursday. That means today. I just repeat this to make this clear. It's not just any parliamentarians, it's the parliamentary leaders talking with all the group leaders, etc. We are giving British Prime Minister Boris Johnson until Sunday to make a decision, said Liberal group leader Dacian Cioloş. The uncertainty for citizens and companies can no longer be accepted. The German Christian Social Union European politician Manfred Weber had previously promoted this deadline. I suggested to the leadership of the European Parliament this morning that we should approve a Brexit agreement if we get it by Sunday, wrote the group leader of the European People's Party on Twitter. After that, we can no longer reasonably examine the deal before the end of the year. The treaty is too important to rush through Parliament. And that is just a little hint to those who always say the EU Parliament has nothing to say, it's just a mockery of parliamentarians and so on. Just 2 weeks before the end of the Brexit transition phase on December 31st, the European Union is still negotiating a follow-up agreement with Great Britain to avoid tariffs and serious trade barriers. Should it come about, it would have to be ratified before the end of the year. Numerous earlier deadlines for concluding negotiations have already been broken, as we all know. One point of contention in the negotiations is fishing rights. The other EU countries have meanwhile agreed on fishing quotas for the North Sea and the North Atlantic for the coming year. Because of the Brexit uncertainty, however, these are only provisional quotas for the first 3 months until March, as Federal Agriculture Minister Julia Klöckner from the Christian Democratic Union said on Thursday after 2-day negotiations in Brussels. Klöckner spoke of long and difficult negotiations. According to a communication from the Ministry of Agriculture, German fishermen are allowed to catch a quarter of the total amount by 2020 from the important North Sea stocks. In addition to the North Sea and the Atlantic, it was also about the Mediterranean and the Black Sea. The most difficult were probably the negotiations on the Western Mediterranean with the affected countries Italy, France and Spain, said Klöckner. Ultimately, a balanced compromise was agreed, according to which the fishing effort should be reduced by 7.5% in the coming year, and not 75% as some people already wrote in the comments. Of course, it's 75% less if it's only for 3 months, but overall it will only be 7.5% less. Because of the ongoing Brexit talks, it's unclear to what extent fishermen from EU countries such as Germany and France will have access to British territorial waters from January. And just to say this, because it's coming up all over and over, it is not about controlling British waters. The EU is negotiating for quotas in British waters. As you always say, the UK is a sovereign country. Of course, they control their waters and they will decide how many quotas they will give to the EU. But these quotas are a price for other things, like access for your services you make much more money with than the EU fishermen. But it's nothing about controlling any waters. The control of the waters is with the UK, stays with the UK, no matter what. EU talks with Norway about jointly fished stocks are still pending. EU negotiator Michel Barnier believes that talks with Great Britain can be concluded by Friday, reported the AFP news agency. As he himself wrote on Twitter, there is good progress in the talks. It is now a matter of removing the last stumbling blocks from the way, because the EU will only sign an agreement if it protects its interests and principles. EU officials and diplomats, however, told Reuters news agency that an agreement by Friday is unlikely. There were still differences on one of the main points of contention, the question of future fishing quotas. So once again, the stupid, politicized 0.1% GDP fishing quotas can ruin the whole thing. EU Commission President Ursula von der Leyen described the current status of the negotiations on Wednesday, as you could see in one of my videos, as on the way to an agreement. The talks about fair trade conditions in the future have made progress. And once again, the symbolic dispute over fishing rights in British waters remain very difficult, however. A spokesman for Prime Minister Boris Johnson said the UK side was continuing to try to resolve differences, but it is most likely that the transition phase will end without a trade agreement. Further talks are planned, but British Minister of State Michael Gove stressed that despite the shortage of time, everything will be done to secure a good free trade agreement in the interest of the whole of the United Kingdom. The chances of this are currently less than 50%, he said. He ruled out that negotiations could be restarted after a failure in the new year. And that would really mean shooting yourself in your own foot. Even if there is no deal, do you want to trade on WTO with the EU forever? So that's more childish than anything. I'm sorry that I have to say this from my own opinion in the end. If you want to stay informed, please subscribe to my channel. Subscribe to my newest two channels as well. They are growing wonderfully, I must say. So thank you to everyone who already subscribed there and is watching there. I'll see you in my next video. Bis gleich.